Welcome back to another episode of the UIS Coaches Show. I'm Michael Iota, as always joined by UIS head men's coach Matt Brock. Matt, thanks for joining us again. We appreciate your time as always.
Thank you.
Yeah, Prairie Stars coming off a home weekend with the McKendree Bearcats in town on Thursday and the Maryville Saints on Saturday. Stars got out of the weekend with a split, which we'd like a little bit more of a 2-0 record, but a split, still a positive thing. A 79-75 loss to McKendree on Thursday night, and then back that up with an 84-80 victory against Maryville. Coach, let's break down these games. These were two really exciting games. You know, it's February now, conference games. They all mean a lot. Everybody's kind of playing at a high level. The McKendree game, a little bit frustrating, for us there and not being able to get that home win. But as you talked about in the post game, and you've talked about, since then a little bit, perimeter shooting was really the difference.
Yeah, I mean, credit to McKendree. They shot the ball in, with the exception of two or three of their looks from three. I felt like we did a good job. They just made shots, and 12 for 21 from three, and 9 or 10 of those were semi-contested, or at least they're shooting over some people, and you got to give credit to them. I think it seemed like when we got it to one possession, and every time we came down needing to get a stop to get a chance to take the lead or tie it, they would hit a timely one. The step back three was kind of a backbreaker there in a 1-point game by their center, Hayden Meeks. So when you got your 5-man can shoot the three,
yeah.
It's really hard to guard, and they did a good job of spreading us out and attacking us.
Yeah, there was 3 cases we were talking about in the second half. We were within two, and within 3, and each time they came down and hit a timely 3. And you mentioned it in our post game talking about it, where it's hard to climb back, right? You guys were in such a good position and got back and kept clawing. Those were more mentally and physically, just demoralizing to the team when you're putting all that effort in, and then they hit those shots, which, it's one thing to hit shots, but it's another thing to hit shots in those situations, which really just zaps the energy of those comebacks.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of energy to come back, especially from 8 to 10 point deficits. And so when you do that, a lot of times you can get it close, but sometimes the momentum runs out a little bit, and you're just short. And that was kind of the case in that second half. But I think our guys have done this all year long, and we've gone through a lot, but we've not stopped fighting. I mean, there's tremendous fight in our guys. I'm pleased with that. I'm happy with the effort we're getting, and it's just been a lot of close games, a lot of coin flips, and we're a few plays away from having a completely different record. So we've put ourselves in that position, and hopefully these to finish the season we can finish some of those games off a little more consistently.
Yeah, let's talk about a couple of really good individual efforts in this game. Obviously, McKendree came in with a plan to say, hey, we're going to single Jack Weber. We're not going to bring help. We'll let Jack beat us, but we're going to try to limit everybody else, which they did a great job of. 31 points. I thought he was obviously fantastic. I think 13 field goals, which I think is second in program history for a single game. Just a terrific day there. And then also, I thought, not only this Thursday night, but Saturday as well, which we'll get to, but Ty Banks was really, really good for you on Thursday as well.
Yeah, no, it's Jack was good. I thought what he did on Thursday was he just got back to his bread and butter, didn't try to do too many different things, just try to get to his go-to move, and he had a good matchup. We knew he was going to have a good matchup no matter who they had in the game, and he was very efficient, 31 points on 18 shots, so what you want from him. And then Ty has kind of been a utility man for us. Played a little point early, kind of played on the wing a little in the middle of the season. Now he's back to playing some more point. He's just been willing and ready to do whatever we ask him to do. He's a tremendous competitor, plays with a lot of toughness, plays extremely hard. So very, very pleased with him right now. And it's the team, we've just had to remake ourselves with different lineups so often. I think we're starting to finally kind of find our rhythm without Nate Shockey as far as what lineups fit together and how that team should play. So I think going back to Thursday night, if we do a better job defending the lane, and if you talk about 3-point shooting, but when they're getting to lay the ball off the glass, those are the ones you got to control a bit better, and I think we did that for the most part on Saturday, and that helped us get the win on Saturday.
Yeah, you talk about Ty's competitiveness. I mean, 9.5 rebounds over the weekend on average this weekend. So another element of it. When you have a rebounding guard, as you know, that can change things, and Ty did a great job with that. You talked about mixing up lineups, not having Nate Shockey. Saturday, you went with a little bit of a different lineup. Britt Dutton and Ty Banks both in the lineup together. It's the first time that we've seen that as far as a starting lineup for you. A little bit of a mix there. Got off to a good start. Tell us a little bit about that lineup change, and what did that bring for you as you guys got off to a good start in that 84-80 win against Maryville?
Yeah, we kind of had 2 games in a row where we didn't start great. So the easiest way to change that is mix up the lineup a little bit, and we had kind of gotten in that rhythm where Ty, Nate, and Isaiah came in on that second wave, and it was really good. So for a long time we kept those guys on the bench because I liked how well they played together, and so yeah, I was happy about the start. We got ourselves into a double-digit lead at one point in that first half. Just didn't quite get away. The big thing was transition with that team. Maryville, very fast team, not a big and strong team, but very quick and fast. And we turned it over a little bit. We got ourselves into some bad defensive balance, crashing the boards, which we wanted to crash the boards against them because they're not a great defensive rebounding team, and that did help us over the course of the game. But the trade-off is you give up some transition, and I think they had 11 points in transition on both halves. So if we could have done a bit better than that job on that, may have a little bit bigger cushion at halftime. But overall, very pleased with the defensive effort in the half court against Maryville, which is, in February and March, you got to be really good in the half court on offense and defense. And so, even though they scored 80 points, a lot of that was in transition. So we look at the bright side, and in the half court, I think we gave up 58 on 55 possessions. So 1.05 points of possession is right where we want to be.
Nice. Yeah, that was a Maryville team that looked completely different from when we played them early in the season, and we beat them down in St. Louis. But just watching from the eye test, that's a team that is definitely playing a lot better, playing with a lot more confidence, and that was a great win for you guys. That was one that you guys had to trade blows back and forth, right? That game could have got away from you in a couple different areas where Maryville had stretched some leads, I think even 3 possessions at one time, right? I know you were worried a little bit coming out after the tough McKendree loss how your team and the resolve would come, but you guys took a couple punches and then landed a couple punches and were able to take a game that easily could have got away and made some winning plays and got a W. That had to feel really good for you and your team.
Yeah, no, our guys, like I said, they haven't stopped fighting, and we were even doing some different stuff. I mean, we were trying to take advantage of their smaller guards with Ty dribbling down to the post, and that's something we haven't done a ton of. And he did a great job of being strong and physical and finishing and even passing. Kicked it out to Max for a big one at one point. So it's when you're this deep in the season, 23 games in the season, and you're still finding out lineups, it's what it is for us. But the good thing is I think we found something, and we can kind of build off of that. And like you said, I think Khalil Ross coming off the bench really responded well. I think he had 16 points. 14 rebounds, maybe a career high for him. Did a lot of damage on the offensive glasses, which we kind of challenged him to do before that game. And I was pleased with his response to being brought off the bench. And so, Ty, 22 points, career high for him. Made some big plays late. And then, you bring Jack in for up 1 with under 30 seconds, and everybody knows the ball's going to him, and he knows the ball's going to him, and he still makes the basket. So that's just the kind of player he is.
Yeah, that's where Jack is. We talked about Ty's weekend overall. He had 11 points, 10 rebounds against McKendree, 22 and 9 against Maryville. So I know we've talked a lot about him, but those numbers are just eye-popping for that young man. You mentioned it, build off of it, and that's going to be the big key. Thursday we end the homestand with UIndy coming in. Right now UIndy's that team that's right ahead of us in the PRS. It's a game that, I know you really felt like got away over in Indianapolis earlier this year at 80-79 loss, where you felt like your team and the stats and everything was there to get a road win. Just didn't get it. I think that was a time in the season when we were still kind of struggling in those coin flip games, making the plays, not turning it over, in key situations a little bit. Now, looking back at this Maryville game and seeing some of the plays you did make to win a game, a little bit of a different feeling going into this UIndy game for you now, understanding that, hey, we did what we needed to do matchup-wise. We're a little bit of a different team. How are you feeling going into Thursday?
We need to have a good week of practice. We need to have a good week of practice, and Indy's a really good team. I think they're kind of right on the outside looking in to the region rankings. They're dynamic offensively. They got some guards that can really score it. And we got beat in the first half at their place. We got down 11 at half and had to fight all the way back, and got it tied, and they made a bucket late to seal it. But I think we're gonna have to defend them, put them in the half court, and do a good job of containing their guards. They got some guards that can really score it from different parts of the floor. They're kind of 3-level scorers, so we got to make it hard on them and make them work for everything. And I think what I'd like for us to do is maybe be able to get away and win a game by 15, so we don't have to go down to the wire. You see people. I saw a couple people at school drop off today, and they're saying, "Man, what a game on Saturday! It was a nice close one." I said, "Well, we would prefer to kind of maybe have a little bit more of a cushion there late than have to come down to the wire every game." But for the fan satisfaction, maybe that's what they're looking for. A little bit better than the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, that one wore on you, but of course there was no gray hairs for Nick Sirianni. Big win for the Eagles coming in from there. I know you're a big Chiefs guy. The kids are big Chiefs fans. How did the Brock household take that loss?
It was sad. I think Matthew hasn't seen the Chiefs lose the Super Bowl since he was 4, so he was a little confused and surprised. But overall, much better weekend than Taylor Swift had for the Brock family with the win on Saturday. So we'll take it, and Pat Mahomes is still locked up for a lot of years.
Yeah.
So I know Josh Allen, he's gonna have to deal with the Red Kingdom for many years to come.
Yeah,
So.
No doubt a surprising result, but hopefully we don't get a surprising result this week. Hopefully we can get a home win against UIndy, a much-needed victory as far as the PRS goes. Again, that's going to be Thursday night at 7:30, just one game this week, so a little bit of a break for your team as well, which I know is always much needed in February. But again, into the homestand, local Heroes Night here at Track. So please come out, support the Prairie Stars in a big game against the Greyhounds against that Thursday at 7:30 here at Track. For Matt Brock, I'm Michael Iota. This has been the UIS Coaches Show.